lie down on your back with your feet on the floor and your knees up, and make sure you have your Pilates ring close by. We'll give ourselves just a second here to focus on what we're going to do as we lower our knees to one side and then the other. You want your feet a little wider than your hips. If you're on a yoga mat, put your feet about as wide as your mat. Taking deep breaths as you go from side to side. Nice smooth movement, controlled movement, not in any rush here. Just bringing some movement into the body as we get ready to go with our workout today. Good. Bring the knees back up to center. And we'll bring the right leg in toward the chest. You can stretch that left leg out along the floor. And then bring both legs up and switch. Lower the right leg with control. Hug the left leg in. Bring both legs up and switch. We'll keep going. That straight leg, you could bend the knee and bring the foot down to the floor instead of bringing that whole leg down. Whatever feels the best to you. Slow exhale as you hug that knee in. Good. Now bring both legs up here. Just hold them up for a second and point and flex your feet. You can hold onto your hamstrings to make it a little bit easier. And you can also bend your knees a little bit if that feels better to you. Otherwise, pressing those heels up to the ceiling and then pointing those toes. Good. Relax. Let the knees bend, hug them into the chest as you roll your forehead up, and then stretch your arms overhead as your feet come to the floor. Exhale, hug the knees in, forehead comes to meet them, and inhale, feet to the floor, arms overhead. Couple more like that. Just a little bit of a crunch here, exhaling, squeezing your belly button down. And then rest your head down and keep your knees hugged in. Just rock a little bit from side to side. Now let's go ahead and grab that ring. We'll get started here. Holding the ring in both hands, up above your shoulders. Lift your shoulders, your forehead up off the ground. You're going to take the ring outside that right leg. So we're coming into a little bit of a bicycle here. Bring the ring center as you switch legs, and then reach the ring past the left leg. Then the right, then the left, going side to side, keeping those shoulders up off the ground, chin toward the chest. Breathing as you go, strong exhale as you reach. Good. If you started on the right, finish on the left and rest. Bring your head down, rock a little bit from side to side. I always love to do that. Okay, now let's stretch our legs out along the ground. Take the ring up overhead, and we're going to roll up here. So leading with the ring, squeezing to come up, coming up into an L shape here. So flex your feet in, sit as tall as you can, like your back is against a wall. Shoulders down and back, but you're holding that ring in front of you. We'll twist to the right. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, reach forward, ring toward the toes, keeping that spine long. Inhale, tall, and then exhale, twist to the left. Arms stay straight, both of them. You're holding that ring out in front. Back to center, exhale, reach forward, and we'll keep alternating like that. Remember to drop those shoulders down and back. Don't let them crunch up to your ears, and don't let them round forward, especially here as you reach toward the toes. Shoulders stay back. Your whole body is coming forward in that reach. Think about taking your heart toward your toes rather than down toward your knees, and that's going to help you keep your spine a little bit longer. It doesn't matter how far you reach, as long as you're feeling it. That's going to be a little different for all of us. Good. Now, as you finish, make sure you've done an even number on both sides. Take that ring up overhead, holding that strong L shape, and then lower it back down. A little bit of a rest here. Just bring your knees in a little, let them open to the side so your soles of your feet are together and kind of fold in between your knees. Good, relax that. We're going to bring the feet inside the ring now. So you're holding the ring from the inside so it's on the edges of your legs there above your ankle. Rocking back here to find your balance in a boat. Flex your feet. And if you want to hold your hamstrings, you can, or take your hands away. That's up to you. But really lift the chest up so that spine stays long. And then let's see if we can extend the legs and then bend the knees again. Extend, and then bring it back to where you started. Breathe as you go. Maybe the legs aren't going all the way straight. That's okay. It's a start. That gentle pressure outward so the ring doesn't fall off our feet. Good. Now see if you can hold the legs up as you lower yourself down to the ground, and then bring your legs up above your hips. We're just going to squeeze the ring open and then relax. So push your legs against the ring and then relax. Depending on your flexibility and strength here, you might want to hold on to your hamstrings again. Give your legs some support as you hold them up there. That's all right. Make sure that core is engaged and your spine is staying neutral. We don't want a big arch in the back right now. Good. Relax the legs for a second. Hug the knees in toward the chest. Another little rock, side to side. And keeping the ring where it is, finding your knees at 90 degrees. We want to keep that angle at the knee as we work. So you're going to bring your heels down to touch the floor and then tuck the knees back up so the knees are over the hips, and then lower the heels down. But notice the angle at my knee isn't changing. Think about your leg as a stationary unit right now. You've put it in position. You want to keep it in position as you lower the whole thing together and up. So the only movement there is happening at the hip. Everything else is staying the same. If you start to bring those heels closer to your hips, it's going to feel easier as you work. If you're not getting your feet all the way to the ground, that's okay. Again, we don't want the back to arch as the feet get close. So make sure you're really pressing down through the belly button, keeping that core tight and strong the whole time you work. Good. Relax. Let's take the ring off the feet. Another little hug in, a little rock side to side. Give that a rest. And then we're going to roll onto our side here, and let's bring our feet back inside the ring. And as you situate yourself on your side, you can take your bottom arm and kind of stretch it out in front of you for this first one, other hand on the back of your head. And we're going to crunch the knees in toward the chest as we lift the shoulders off the ground. So exhale, bring that elbow toward the knee. Inhale, stretch it out long. Hovering the legs above the floor as you lower down. You could always do this without the ring if that's just a distraction. If it's not helping you, just take the ring off and do it without. Good. Rest it down. Reposition that bottom arm so it's above your head now. And you can rest your head on your bicep, or like I'm doing, elbow on the floor, hand on the head. This time we want the upper leg on top of the ring. The bottom leg stays inside, and you're going to rest that top leg on top of the ring, and you will lift and lower the bottom leg. So nice control there. Doesn't have to get all the way to the top of the ring, just lifting as high as you can. It might just clear the floor. That's okay. Breathing as you go. That other hand resting on the floor in front of you for a little extra balance, but try not to rely on that hand too much. It's just there kind of to check yourself. Good. Now rest the lower leg down on the ground, and we want to press the top leg into the ring. So you're squeezing the ring, pressing down with that top leg, and then slowly releasing it. Don't let it bounce. You want to stay in control of that movement. Harder than it looks when we control it like that. Bring it up slowly. Don't just let it rebound. Good. Now leave the top leg alone, resting on the top of the ring, and see if you can hover that bottom leg up off the ground and then squeeze it. Good. Rest the bottom leg down. Take the top leg across your body. We'll come into a little twist here. So that top knee is bent and we're kind of looking the other way or up at the ceiling, whatever feels best to you. Good. Let's switch sides. Again, positioning the bottom leg inside the ring, resting it on the floor. Both legs inside to start. Your bottom arm stretched out in front of you, and we'll do that crunch here, tucking the knees toward the elbow. Exhaling up, inhaling down. Good. Rest. Reposition your bottom arm, more above your head now, resting your head in your hand. Take the top leg and put it on top of the ring. Hold it in place there. And then we'll lift and lower that bottom leg only. Now rest the bottom leg down and squeeze the ring with that top leg. Push it down with control. Slowly release it. Again, don't let it bounce. Good, and now hover that bottom leg up. Keep squeezing with that top leg. Good, rest it down. Take the top leg and cross it over your body so we can come into that little twist. Couple deep breaths here. And slowly unwind that. We're going to take the ring above our heads here, lying down on our bellies. So the ring is kind of in front of your face to start, holding it on either edge. And then reach your arms out in front of you. So your arms are straight. Legs are behind you there, straight. Looking down at the floor. We're going to inhale, lift everything up, including that ring. Now put the ring down, bring your hands under your shoulders, and do a push-up. Bring yourself back down. Stretch the arms overhead, grab the ring, and lift. Legs come up too, or not, your option there. Bring the hands back under the shoulders. Squeeze that belly button up as you press up. Lower down with control. Reach overhead. Lift the ring, lift the legs. Lower down, hands under the shoulders. Belly button lifts. Good push up there coming off the floor. Take your time with it. If you're slower than me, that's okay. Do 1 rep for every one of my 2, but make sure that push-up is solid. A lot of people work on push-ups, but they don't really work on them. They do them, but they're just doing what they can to get through them without paying enough attention to how you can actually get better. So really focus on trying to keep your body in a strong plank position as you push up. Good. Keep using your breath, controlled movement. Almost there. Each repetition, we're getting stronger. Good. Last one. As you press up, go ahead and sit slowly back to a child's pose, keeping those arms reaching overhead. We'll take them to the right until you feel that stretch down your left side. Now take the arms to the left, feel the stretch down your right side. Breathing deeply, bring those hands back to center. We'll come up here, grabbing the ring, coming to a seated position. Sit tall, pull those shoulders down and back as you roll down to the ground. Holding the ring in your hands up above your shoulders again here, feet on the floor, knees bent. We'll bring both legs up so those knees are right on top of the hips, holding them in place there so the shins are like a tabletop. Then roll the shoulders up off the ground, little crunches here, and then lower the knees to one side. Bring them back up to center. Crunch up, press the ring up, rest the head down, then the legs go the other way. Very small movement there, and you want to start it even smaller than you think you might be able to do. So it's 1 crunch, then the legs go right, 1 crunch, then the legs go left. Very small movement. And you want to keep the knees side by side, which means your hip is lifting up off the ground. And as you bring it back to center, focus on squeezing the belly button down. Keep breathing, breathing. As the legs lower, that ring stays right over top of your shoulders. Hold it steady there. Small, controlled movements. Bigger movements are not always better, not always more effective. Just depends on what you're doing and where your strength is. Because if we focus on little movements here, get really good at that, that's going to enable us, we're going to have the foundation to lower those legs a little bit lower eventually and bring them back up. Good. Let's bring the feet back down. Knees are up again. Make sure you've done an equal number on the right and the left. And then we'll take the ring and put it outside the legs now. So put the legs inside the ring. Hold them strong above your head or above your hips. And then we're going to make little circles. So you can point your toes on this one. You can rotate your legs a little bit externally. And then big circles here right above your hips. So keeping the legs as straight as you can. We do want to switch directions on the circle every time. So make sure you're pulling your legs to a really strong stop and then changing that momentum, changing that direction. Don't let the legs kind of swing through slow as they want to and then go the other way. You stay in control of that stop, and you stay in control of that change of direction. There's a lot of work to be had right there in that change of direction. When your legs are coming toward you, really focus on keeping them straight and bringing them as close as you can. So the feet come toward the chest a little bit or toward the chin. Good, let's rest. Flex those feet now, toes point toward you. And we'll just reach for the toes, little crunches here. Exhale up, inhale down. If you want to make it a little harder, move those feet a little farther away from you, toward the floor. You can lower it even more. Whatever works for you. Good, then rest. You can take the ring off, set it aside. Reach those arms overhead a little bit, legs out. Give yourself a good stretch here from your fingertips to your toes. And then cross an ankle over a knee. Let's stretch that in. You can hold your hamstring here like I'm doing, or if you're feeling enough stretch already with your foot on the ground, just crossing that leg over, just focus on that. That's a great place to be. Good, let's switch sides. Good, relax that. Now take the right leg and just reach it up. Hold your calf or your ankle, keeping that leg as straight as you can. So the left leg can be bent with the foot on the floor, or you can stretch it straight out along the floor. If it's hard to use your hands against your calf, if it feels like too much stretch, or if you're finding you have to bend that knee a lot, just use your ring instead. Loop it over your leg, and then you can hold the ring instead of your leg. Good, switch sides. Good, let that go. And you can roll onto your side here. Let's stretch the quad. Just grab your ankle behind you there. You can rest your head again on your bicep, whatever's most comfortable. Keeping the knees in line. Let that go. Switch sides. Just roll to your other side. Top leg bends. Reach back and grab that ankle. Good, relax. Rolling to your belly here. Let's put the shoulders or the elbows right below the shoulders. Bring the shoulders down and back, chest forward. Little arch in the back. We want it to be comfortable on the low back. Make sure it's not pinching or hurting. Good. Slowly lift it back up here. Coming back to a child's pose. Slowly transitioning into that rounded back position. Take a few breaths here. If you want to stay here longer, feel free. It's a good place to spend time. Thanks for joining me today for this. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment for me. I'll answer you as soon as I can. Otherwise, have a great day.